about for yourself? Nothing else. You don't need to work. You have all the money in the world. It's you versus you. And are you fulfilling and loving yourself to the highest possible level?
In moments of time, I would say no, but I think a lot of my fulfillment is when I give fulfillment to others, that I feel good about it. That's a tough question. I think that's hard because I think I put that last.
You're already doing it, right? Like I'm just going to be out, right? I make excuses for myself to not show up genuinely. And I'm like, man, I got to take care of my kids. I got to take care of my wife. I got all these other obligations. And my wife will be like, hey, why don't you go get a massage? Like, nah, you can go do it.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have a meal. My kid's like, can I have a bite of yours, Dad? I give him the last bite.
Yep.
And then I'm sitting over there eating a bowl of cereal. Is that the right thing to do? Am I showing them
that you're loving yourself?
I'm going to take care of me too, so that I can show up in the best position, right? Welcome back to Never in Reverse podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Axel, with my co-host, Doug Cox. Doug just got out of the rack, as always.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's that 9 o'clock. Why do you always open the segments with Doug just got out of the rack?
Well, dude, I've tried to get a hold of you all morning. It's 11:30.
No,
so,
don't say oh, my gosh.
You guys, Doug's trying to figure, he comes to me, he's like, man, I can't close anything. I'm like, I start looking under the hood, and it's like, well, yeah.
You try to get me out of the rack. The thing is when you call, I just hit ignore. He doesn't stop calling.
Okay.
He called me last night, 6 o'clock. I'm in the garage working on something. He's calling me. I'm like, dude, go to bed. Do something else.
But you know what? Then he answered, and guess what it was? There's like the Taj Mahal came in. Now we closed a really big deal, and I want to celebrate. So
it's going to be a good element for this customer. I mean, I'm happy to see it. I mean, and we know when they get this system in place, they're going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But that Doug, that the balance though, right, man? It's the work-life balance. Yeah.
Work-life balance.
Oh
okay.
Man, the last 2
that
weeks,
ignore button, bang, 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 bang. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's how I get my balance.
Yeah. So, you guys, it just happens from 11:30 to 3. There's usually a window of, it's like 5-hour days for Doug. We call him he's like the 8-hour work week, whatever that book is.
Oh my gosh,
Doug,
you're worse than my wife and my children. I mean, I never get a chance to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. So he needs some Zen. He has Zens, but he needs a little bit more.
Sponsored by Zen. Yes.
Yeah. No. So just that balance, man. I was thinking about you and me and the grind that we went over 2 weeks.
Man, I feel like I just came out of the fog like literally yesterday.
I told my wife yesterday, I'm like, I think I can actually think straight.
Yeah. My wires aren't crossed. I mean, yeah, because we've been burning the candle at both ends, man. I mean, it's good, but our family sacrifices a little bit and ourselves, but
that work balance,
it was
man,
a hustle.
That we put the last 2 weeks, we made some big, it wasn't us, our families made some big sacrifices for us on that work side. We put work 100% first. And we still make touches, but that was a hard couple weeks for you and I think.
I mean, we covered a lot of ground in 5 days, and worked through the weekend. I mean, shoot, the one day, we were up 22 straight hours through customer visits and traveling, and then had to drive because we wanted to be there to wake up with, in the city with the next customer. Yeah, be on time.
Be on time.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny. So I get us out of DC, Doug. I go about 40 minutes. Doug gets in the seat, and I hit the rack.
Oh, my gosh. He falls asleep, and I tried to do the old scare scream deer in the headlights. And he just, doesn't even open his eyes. He just opens his mouth, which his motor's always running anyway. But he goes, don't try it. And then he goes right back asleep. I'm like, gosh, that was an utter failure. I was trying to, scare the crap out of him, but
it was quite beautiful. It was like, it was like a limo ride. I woke up, I was at the hotel room 3 hours later, and Doug's going one eye open, slapping himself in the face.
The last 40 miles were a challenge.
Dude, that's 22 straight hours.
22
I think when we hit,
straight.
I don't really remember bringing our bags up to the room. I was so tired.
Oh yeah.
But that work balance, right? That was a lot of sacrifice. And I think we need to spend some time on just having balance in that scenario. And why, in our society, we've been taught as in the male masculine position to just always provide. And, we typically put work first, and I think it's kind of if you really stop and think about us, I mean, I try to allow us to have balance, but we're moving so fast, and we're so, in the last podcast, it's like we're always so competitive that we're driven so deep that it's sometimes we don't perform in the three buckets of where we should, right? With our work, our family, and our self-care. Like, we are performing at an optimal time. And I think that's one thing, like, it's going to be it's going to be always an ongoing thing to challenge us, and you and me and our team. Is
I feel like we're getting better at it, as we're getting more organized with things. It's taking some of the heavy weight off our shoulders, that I've seen in the last few years. Which is,
but why do we put this first? What's the point? Like, what do you think? Why do we put work first as males? Why?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just in our fabric, in our DNA. It's just that old school mentality of got to be the provider, right? You got to keep the clothes on the kids' back. You got to keep the lights on. Got to pay the mortgage, and for us, I think in this, and I know I feel this way, and I know you do genuinely too, both of us, and everybody in this organization, we put the customer first, and we always want to make sure they're satisfied. Are there moments and times where things get in the way and we don't wholly fulfill that? Yeah, there are mistakes, and there's elements where we don't, but I think we get a text message at night from a customer, and we're the first ones to grab our phones and respond, right? We want to let them know we're on, always.
Just happened this morning. What time was it at? I think I sent it to you at 4:30.
Yeah, it was 4:30, and I was up. Yeah, not 9 o'clock like he thinks I am.
He's taking a break. He's going to the restroom.
My gosh, I was just trying to get 20 minutes without you in my ear, but we're just always on, right? And that's like my wife. She's like, "Can you put it down? Can you put it down? Can it wait?" And it's sometimes.
Is that the provider? I think that's the provider side. Like, I know that, man, I'm learning that it's okay. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay that a moment of time can pass and that person can wait.
You realize this is being recorded, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because
so what I'm telling is,
keep
it's
going,
okay for me.
I want to hear more, because I might use this to my advantage. Keep going.
It's okay for me is what I'm getting at, not you. Just, we got to let everyone know, like, I'm getting in a spot, but I'm passing it to Doug. Like, you can take all of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
No, but I think it's, Doug, but we try to do as much as we possibly can. And as this thing has grown and scaled, and we're, what we've done is allow things to, we're getting into a spot where I feel like we can hopefully allow our efforts in the building the base to allow space for building a life that we truly want to live.
Where we can unplug. When it's time to unplug, we can truly unplug.
And we've put some things in the last few months for supporting casts on our team to allow.
Exactly.
But you and I still take these things personal, right? We want to be the captain on the team. We want to be the leader. Yeah. We want to bring in forth that element to the customer so that they know they're in good hands.
This level of trust, right?
Yeah. And that's a personal thing. I think we both are guilty of trying to just do more, right? And even though that moment,
be there and be there.
Yeah. And be
there.
But
there's other elements where we're not there.
I mean, I might be and I'm trying to be there more and mentally, right? Like, for my family. And that's another whole level that we'll go into, is like the secondary phase of, like, in this work-life balance, to build the life that we really want to live. We almost have to sacrifice, and we have to do what we're doing, but to the extent that we are, I don't think it's necessary, but we're so competitive that we want to win. That we have that resilience, and that we understand that the greater good of what it's going to provide is bigger than what we can project. But I don't know, what I've thought about is one thing, like, you and I have a saying here, and that work side of stuff is like, next. Yep. Next. Yep. Is it the right way? Think about what I just did in this, and we don't need to talk about anything that's occurred, but we're in this growth trajectory, though, right? So I mean, our
the way we're recognizing the moment is a bit different. If we were a 23 or 20, 30, 40-year-old organization, the feeling would be different.
I don't know, Doug.
No, maybe not.
I think that the way that we're built,
maybe I'm wrong.
Dude, it's like the next football game. It's
like Tom Brady says, my favorite Super Bowl ring's the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's something, the desire to improve, the desire to have that release of like that winning vibration that we get to share with our team, that we get to share and celebrate
the moment.
Yep. I try to bring people in.
I celebrate a lot, but Jeremy doesn't. But
yeah, I mean, because he's a good receptionist. So the good news is he knows how to pick the phone up, but we haven't digit one. So when he got hired, the digit one's going to be your favorite, which
you don't have to dial digit 1 with area codes in the United States anymore. That's how archaic he is.
No, you
don't have to dial 1. You can start with the area code and then dial the 7 remaining numbers.
You keep yapping. I might bring that analog dial phone where you have to go like this.
You'll spin. Rotary. That's called the rotary dial, bud.
The thing with that, dial. If I got you one of those, it'd get real dusty because you don't even know how to do it. So.
Oh.
I mean, we're still trying to. He's good at we got the auto attendant now. It's like automatically answers so that he actually says hello, because he's confused on the green button to hit when they accept. We're getting there, Doug. Slow and steady. So can you imagine the stress, everyone, that's happened over the last couple of years, because that part was hard. So, but no, I just think let's get back to just staying and I think
all
you and I
I
think you and I make excuses, to be quite frank, for the desires that are deep within us to defeat our childhoods. And I think we got to be careful.
Yeah, we do.
Because my wife, my wife's, this is something that happened in my home. I remember he said, I'd tell her 2 more deals, 2 more. And you know what the running joke is in my family now?
2 more deals.
Yep. It is a running joke. My wife will go, oh, 2 more? I go, yeah, you're right. It's just, that shows me that the perception that I thought was true was actually a running lie and is a falsified story that is telling myself, which I projected onto her. Exactly. You got it. Yep. It was my excuse to not be in that moment with my family and my wife. That I don't use that anymore, but she does.
Shoot. Oh. That's in her. That's in her tool
2
bag.
more.
She's going to bring that up anytime she can. Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think the thing, though, is, taking that moment and building the life we want to live and bringing it into a life balance within our family and finding a center space, right? Like, what does it mean? Not for us individually, not for work, but let's
where we can fulfill all buckets.
Yeah, so I think we're going to take a short break here, and we'll dive into that afterwards. But
more coffee.
We'll be back. Yeah, let's get us a cup of coffee, and we'll be back here in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody, from break. We appreciate it. We're going to transition just kind of some topics that we were ending before the break. I think we're going to go into kind of the center thing where we need to focus, Doug, and the life, just life, not personally, not work, but what is that centeredness, that Zen moment, right? That you like to find. What is, man, that to me is, I think you and I don't think we're the worst at it. I think you're a lot better than myself. But that
try to be, I mean, but my kids are a little bit older too, so I mean, it's sports activities, games. I mean, and you're coming up in that here in the next couple of years, and you want to be present, right?
Yeah.
So how can you get in a position to where you can fulfill everything you need to in your work environment, but also in your personal life as well too? And then again, for yourself. I mean, I know for me, I'm excited. I got a vacation coming up, first one in 2 years. Looking forward to it. Here starting this next week, but it's, wait a
minute.
Oh yeah, it was approved. It was approved.
No. Let's get this. Guys, he wakes up at 11:30.
Oh my gosh, so it was 9. It was 9 early. Now it's 11:30.
Well, yeah, because
that's because I'm still hitting the ignore button because you're still yapping.
Hey, the company pays for that cell phone, so we need to make sure that's on.
It's off. Yeah, but well, it just I have a block Jeremy feature. It's a special feature Apple made just for me, just to block.
Because I usually call them when I ring. The call is when I ring the bell, so it's a lot.
Yeah, that bell's got a little dusty. But
no, So I think
I'm looking forward to these next couple of days, and and I told my wife I wasn't sure if I was gonna. I'm going hunting here in Idaho here this next week, and we had a busy last couple of weeks, and I feel like I just needed to breathe a little bit. And my wife's like, nope, you need to go. You need to have the time to yourself. And I thought about that for a moment, and she goes, you haven't taken any time for yourself. And I went, and it took a moment, and I looked back, I went, no, I haven't.
So I think that's going to be kind of the transition that we get out of, but like, let's focus on the core of your family. Like, the life balance that isn't you, that isn't your wife, that's you guys as a team.
Yeah.
The balance, think about that, going from that work-life balance or whatever you want to call it, like work-life balance, and the extremes over the last couple weeks that you and I have had, where the buckets weren't getting fulfilled. And actually the only bucket that was getting filled was the
work
buckets.
bucket.
Oh, the work bucket, right? That wasn't. So now we're back home.
Yep.
And you're going, and I got to go on a trip next week now. When we get back into that mode, we probably need to take some space to quit putting our family second, right? Like,
it's really, it's prioritizing things, I think. Where can, this request or this customer email, can it wait? Can it wait till the next business day? Or do I really need to respond to that? Or can I stay disconnected from work and give my time and my focus back to my family, right? Because the thing is, and I'm really bad at this, is when I'm off the clock, or if I know something can wait, I typically don't. I grab the phone, I answer, right? When it can wait, or sending those emails out at night. What difference does it make? It's not getting read till the next day anyway.
I think that you and I just have this killer mentality.
Sometimes it's just tough to turn it off when you need to turn it off.
Yes. And I think if we learn to have, if we're on, we do it in a more authentic way, to ourselves and our family. Right. But I think that we're in this growth phase, right? We got this balance of things that we're projecting on to others, and we're making excuses along the way for ourselves too, right? And we're like, man, because you and I have this thinking, like, man, if it doesn't get done now, the next one's coming. It's going to start being the stack.
It's going to snowball. Yeah, and then
it's going to snowball, and it does.
Behind. It does.
Like it does.
It does.
So the difficulties around maintaining that. So I'll get, like, this weekend, we're leaving here at 4:00 this afternoon. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to take my kids. I've been gone hustling for a couple weeks here, sometimes physically, but not really, because we had so much going on we're trying to prepare for. So I'm going to take them to the mountains. We just got we got a condo up there. We're going to zip. It has a slide inside there and stuff. So I'm like,
awesome.
And so last night I set the foundation for my family. I told my wife, I'm like, we're going to take our phones and put them down. We're going to leave them in the condo. That's it. And we're going to be in that moment so that they get be with attention. Them. Oh,
yeah.
Get it. Their buckets are empty. Yeah, give it to them, right? Like, that's difficult, because I'm telling you what, and the tickler in my head.
That's going to be so awesome, because you won't be calling me on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, well, yeah, because we're trying to figure out if you're going to close something.
So you know what? The beautiful part is your kids get attention, and I get you out of my ear. I love it.
Dude.
This is a blessing.
You guys, the thing is, typically it's Doug doesn't have a quota, which is a bad thing. So
because because so much
that goose egg, man. I'm like, Doug, you're like a swan over there, man. You got golden gooses everywhere.
I'm taking victory laps every day, buddy. Just victory laps.
No, so I think though that, just giving some space, and that, trust me, do you think in my mind I'm going, man, I gotta who's emailed me, is there someone that needs some help? Like, we're not going to solve the world's problems.
But guess what? Can it wait till Monday?
Yes.
Because that's our work culture. Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
or Sunday night, right? But you and I have this
Sometimes
thing.
it's hard to put those barriers.
You and I have some, and because we're in this phase where it's like, man, the iron's getting hotter, like, and I think that we gotta give some space to, and I think if we took a different position internally for ourselves, for if we do respond, it comes from an authentic place, not a this. I wouldn't say anxious, but just this desire to succeed and compete. We win here, right? Like, we like to win.
Yeah,
and if we lose, it's short-lived, period. We don't drag the dead weight on.
No.
We're not going to talk about it much. We're going to just
learn from it and move forward.
The windshield's bigger than the rearview mirror. That's why it's called never in reverse. But that doesn't need to just be work, right? Like, the never in reverse is like, man, we have a perspective in our home in this life balance that also needs that view. We can't just make excuses along the way and be really good, because I've been stuck in that, and I kept making excuses to not show up wholeheartedly in my family. I kept going, oh yeah, but it's this and this, and this is over here just going, and then over here,
the excuse and putting priorities in.
Yeah, exactly. So, with you and where you're going right now is like, man, you just shared with the, our audience, like, man, I'm going to take some time off for myself. Yeah. Wow. So you're going to take some life balance. And last year you did that, but you brought a Elon Musk internet thing because you wanted to be on.
Yeah.
Yep. But
we were in a different position then.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of other supporting elements. We've made some big enhancements and improvements in the way things are structured, which is allowing a little bit more disconnect and a chance to breathe. Yeah. We were in a weird stage, and I knew it, and I was fine with it. But it's going to be nice. I mean, where I'm going, no cell service, no nothing. Going to be completely off the grid. It's going to be a breath of fresh air.
Are you hunting all the time from like 8 a.m. to 11? Because you're off grid every day.
No, buddy. I'm up before the sun's up. I beat the sun out of bed, and don't you forget it.
Man, I'm like, this guy must be in Idaho every week or every day. Actually.
Shoot, I wish. Yeah, but
but that's self-balance, man. I am horrible.
Yeah.
I am so bad.
It's hard. It's hard. And it's, we want to be fulfilling to our customers, but we need to be fulfilling to ourselves and to our family life as well. And it unfortunately, we get in these moments where it's like, what's going to sacrifice? And, we steer our direction, maybe in our focus in the wrong area in the moment.
And it's hard because all the pressures that we foresee as in our homes and what society has gone down, this we're the providers, and we want to win that day, and we want to show our kids how to be good leaders and work hard, and
that things are earned.
But the thing is, man, to love others, we have to first love and take care of ourselves at a deep rooted, very authentic level. And I think, just to be raw, I know I am horrible at it. I'll tell myself, yeah. But if you sat and you just, going back to the mirror, go to the mirror and go, dude, do I genuinely, do I love myself more than anything, above anything else? Like, that's where it starts, right? You can't love your wife until you really love yourself. And I think that we need to figure out ways to give these moments. And hopefully when you're in the mountains, man, you can be like, how do I, foresee showing up better?
And you're right. I mean, it's going to be beautiful to take those moments and just think, like, am I proud of myself? Am I proud of what I'm doing for this organization? Am I proud of myself for what I'm doing for my family in support of them as well? And if there's some unfulfilled check boxes, it's going to be nice to be able to reflect on some of that, okay, I got to step up. I got to show up for this. I want to check all boxes.
Yeah. But what about for yourself? That's where we're at. Like, what about for you? Yeah. I mean, that's great. Those things are going to come and go, but what about for you?
Yeah. I mean,
if you stripped everything out, Doug, like, let's just say you wake up and you're alone, nothing else. You don't need to work. You have all the money in the world. You're not married. You don't have kids, but it's you versus you. And are you fulfilling and loving yourself to the highest possible level to where you can show up?
Yeah. In moments of time, I would say no, but I think a lot of my fulfillment is when I give fulfillment to others, that I feel good about it, but where in when I reflect on that and I go, gosh, okay, I'm doing the right things. I feel good inside, but where am I taking the moment for myself to go, Doug, for yourself, are you doing what makes you happy as well too? What's fulfilling inside for me? Just me one-on-one. That's a tough question. I think
that's hard, man.
that's hard because I think I put that last.
Well, you're gonna you're already doing it, right? Like I'm just gonna be like I make excuses for myself to not show up genuinely. And I'm like, man, I got to take care of my kids. I got to take care of my wife. I got all these other obligations. And then all of a sudden you look back and I'm like, and my wife will be like, hey, why don't you go get a massage? I'm like, nah, you can go do it.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have a meal. My kid's like, can I have a bite of yours, Dad? I give him the last bite.
Yep.
I mean, and then I'm sitting over there eating a bowl of cereal. And that's no joke. I'm not joking. That's what happens. I mean, and is that the right thing to do? Am I showing them
that you're loving yourself?
Yeah. Like, man, I got this. Like, hey, there's a boundary here that I'm going to take care of me too, so that I can show up in the best position, right? So I think I know our personalities, and you and I are
cut out a lot of the same cloth.
Yeah, but
I don't talk as much. I don't call as much, but I mean,
and he doesn't close as much.
Oh yes,
so,
I do.
He'll get there, Doug.
Oh, I know. That's people by me. That's and they love it because they know I took care of them.
Man, I don't know how many people you're talking to because I see.
Oh my gosh, the beatdown continues. Yeah.
No, but like, just honestly, like, let's figure out. I think you and I need to sometimes give some space for self-care and self-love, and allow maybe just. We dive in, man. We're hands-on. We get in that moment, and all of a sudden the day's over, and you're like, the self-love is when we sleep or we sit down in bed and go,
this just dawned on me and I was having a conversation with my parents here a while ago because they know we've been grinding.
Yeah.
And my dad, he posed a question like, when are you going to have some time, our family loves the outdoors. We hunt a lot. And he's like, so when are you going to get some time to hunt and just take some time for yourself? He goes, you're such a people pleaser. And in this conversation right now, in this moment, that conversation just dawned on me that I just had a couple weeks ago with my folks.
Yeah.
Such a people pleaser. I put everybody else first and myself last, and I don't know. This next week and having some time away and sitting on hillsides with nobody else around, just my buddy and I. And there's moments we'll sit there and not say a word for hours. And I know this is where I'm going to kind of digest some of this topic, and kind of reflect on that because I haven't taken a whole lot of time for myself.
Just to be real, like you were trying to shy away from the topic of yourself at the beginning. And it's like, man, I mean, you started deviating back to what we'd already talked about. And
fulfilling
it's like,
everybody else.
Yes. Let's stop
them.
it. Yeah. Let's sit back and go, can we do it at the level that we think we can without doing it for ourselves? I don't think it's possible. I don't even know what that looks like at this stage of where I'm at, but I know that.
Do you have any practices that like you follow? I mean, are there moments like where you unplug and you disconnect and you just holistically have your moment with yourself?
Doug, you know me. I am full speed.
All gas, no brakes.
Dude, all gas, no brakes.
And then when that sucker runs out of fuel, folks, let me tell you, that head hits a pillow and it's out.
That competitive grit, man, the fuel that's inside of me takes over. And I just think that don't have to be in reverse, but we can slow down and we can brake. And what we should do is just allow some of that time to you're going out, you're going to go progress, you're going hunting in a very difficult area, but man,
just challenging.
Feel yourself, feel your body as you do that. Like, just be part of yourself with your buddy and like be in that moment without that busy time. Don't worry about us. Like, allow the space to come back wholeheartedly. And I told you that, man, we go out there, just go. Don't
recharge.
Don't
the
be on.
batteries.
Recharge the batteries. Come back. I mean, Doug hasn't killed a deer in 4 years, so he's a professional hiker.
Well, I haven't had a chance to hunt because all I do is work.
Oh, buddy.
And I always got my little birdie in my ear.
There's a couple things you can't do, and that's close a deal and shoot a buck.
Or
So
disconnect from you. So,
I mean, well, dude, I can't get a hold of you till 11. So,
yeah.
but no, I
9.
just, it keeps growing because it's harder to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
But no, I just think, I think that's something that we got to challenge ourselves on is focusing on that bucket. And maybe that's something that we can do is just take that Zen moment and when it's when we get called out by our spouse and go, man, and quit making excuses. Cause we do. Oh man.
I do. And they recognize it. They see it firsthand, It's like my wife telling me you need to go. And I was already making an excuse not to go.
Yes.
I'd been on the road traveling with you. I was afraid, the burden being on her here at home again. And I was like, maybe this just isn't the right time. And then she's telling me I need to go take the time for myself, which, I'm grateful that, my wife is my conscience.
Yeah.
Because
you need it.
I need it because she puts things in a great light and perspective a lot of times that I ignore because I kind of put the blinders on.
That's a difficult thing. And I think it's just a challenge. Maybe we set forth over the next, several months going into next year is like, man, you watch our buckets fill, right? Like if we fill our own buckets, the other ones it's just going to elevate. We can't assume that and make excuses along the way. Cause we do, and I do it too, is like the excuse to not fulfill my own self-care and love and truly love myself is actually going to hurt you guys, my family, my friend, like every cycle.
They'll feel it. They'll sense it.
Oh man.
Yep.
It's so let's take some time over the next 3-4 months and going into next year and get maybe some momentum where like you and I can have some extreme accountability against just saying, calling you out, like, Doug, go. If I see you on your phone, dude, like this isn't it.
No, I mean, this will be a good topic to reflect on, 4 months down the road as we bring this up and now it's top of mind. And, 4 or 5 months from now, we ought to revisit this and just see where we're at. It'd be interesting to see where we're at, inside, at home, at work.
Exactly.
It might need to mark a calendar on that one.
Yeah, and I'm excited for you, man. I hope you go have a wonderful trip with your buddy.
I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be awesome. Just up there. Yes. I'll be cold, sleeping on the ground, but eating freeze-dried meals. But there's nothing better. I live for that moment. It's fun.
So go enjoy your time, man. But thank you guys, everybody. Really appreciate you guys for joining Doug and I and Never in Reverse. And until next time, guys, we hope you guys join us and keep following us on this journey. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Sure.
Appreciate you.
Again.
Thanks.
Bye.